to SFS Media. We are a world-class enterprise HSM middleware provider, focusing on helping broadcasters and content creators manage the storage and movement of one of their most valuable assets, their content. In this series, we examine some of the various aspects of the HSM middleware. This video will focus on the workflow engine and its various tasks. The workflow engine in SFArchive and SFMigrate renders typical workflows required of an HSM middleware. The list of functions includes scanning, watching, mirroring, copying, and migrating. The workflow engine is designed to run across all nodes in the cluster. Should a node fail, the workflows will continue to be processed by other nodes in the cluster. The basis for each workflow consists of two primary variables. Where is the media coming from? That is the source. And where is the media going to? That is the target. Both source and target can be specified as any of the following storage locations, a form of spinning disk accessible by a Linux machine, i.e., nearline or mezzanine storage tiers. Tape media contained within a robot system that SFArchive has scanned. Nearly all robot types and media are supported, including LTO, T10K, etc. An S3 compliant device, including, but not limited to Amazon S3 storage, Quantum S3 hardware, an on-premise object store, S3 accessed hardware devices, and so on. Workflows can, for example, move media from disk to tape to facilitate storage tiering strategies, which are used to move media from high-speed, expensive cache storage to less expensive storage tiers like a tape library or cloud-based archival storage. Creating a workflow will require input of both the source and target locations. The source options are disk, tape, or S3, followed by the target location of disk, tape, or S3. If the source or target selection is disk, the path to the source is required. If the entry is tape, the already established tape groups will appear in the pick list. If the entry is S3, the path for the object store is required. The type of task type created will dictate the required source and target options. Workflows can be one of the following types. Scan, which will constantly scan a source for media specified in the user-defined filters. Watch sets a watch on a file system so that constant scans are unnecessary. It will build up a list of objects over time as they appear on the specified source, rather than constantly scanning for such systems. The mirror creates a duplication of the source and target. It creates and keeps identical copies of both the source and target media groups. Copy will copy media from the source and place it on the target. This does not mirror the groups, but only guarantees that what is on source will also be on the target. Migrate is a special copy style in that it not only copies media from the source to the target, but also takes with this copy any metadata available from the source. This is useful for migrating media from one set of archive volumes to a new set without losing information. Once a workflow has been created, several parameters may be set. Frequency sets how often a workflow will be repeated. By their nature, some workflows do not repeat, such as migrate, which performs a task only once. Media filter can specify a wildcard search for media in a source. For example, a user could specify to search and transfer only star.mxf or star.mov files. File size will be filtered by user-defined parameters, and this applies to the size of any files in the source or target locations. For example, setting the filter for less than 1 GB will look for files smaller than 1 GB, and greater than 10 GB will only process files greater than 10 GB. File age will look for a file creation date when deciding what media to search for. For example, setting the filter for less than 7 days will find all files created less than 7 days ago. Setting it for greater than 30 days will look for media created longer than 30 days ago. Max job size. This will limit the load on the job queue by not making jobs on the queue larger than the selected size measured in gigabytes. This can be useful to limit the number of objects contained within a single archive on the target media. Max queue size. This will limit the number of jobs added to the queue for processing. The default here is between 10 and 100 jobs. Setting this limit would be based on the power of the servers in the architecture. priority will set the order in which jobs will be added to the queue when adding work. It is recommended that this be set at 50+, so that normal work, set to values 1 through 40, takes precedence over the workflow engine's background tasks. This priority can be changed within the queuing mechanism at any time before a job starts to run. As a rule of thumb, background workflows are considered ongoing low-priority work, compared with the rest of the HSM system.